Welcome to the deep dive. We're going to take a whole bunch of sources and boil them down to the most important insights. Today's all about the top AI news from February 1st, 2025. But first, got to mention this whole deep dive, researched and generated using AI, pulling from all the latest info out there.
The crazy thing is we're seeing AI in everything. Global politics, our inboxes. I mean, it really shows how fast this technology is changing, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Let's jump right in then.
Oh.
Okay, first up, this new AI Act from the European Union. They're really taking a stand on regulation, huh?
Yeah, it's a huge deal. The EU is actually putting AI systems into categories based on how risky they could be. Systems that are just too risky, like the kind used for social scoring. Imagine a world where an algorithm decides if you can get services. Those are banned.
Totally. That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. So what about AI systems that are considered high risk but not banned?
Like self-driving cars or AI tools doctors use for diagnoses. Those are high risk, and they're going to face a ton of requirements and oversight. Basically, the EU is saying innovation is great, but not if it means risking safety or people's rights.
Makes sense. But here's what I don't get. They've banned the police from using live facial recognition, right? Out in public anyway. But companies can still sell that tech to other countries. Kind of contradictory, no?
It is complicated. Some people think this is the EU trying to influence things globally, like setting a standard for ethical AI, even outside of Europe.
Interesting. Maybe this will start a trend, other countries following the EU's lead.
Could be. The US, for instance, doesn't have anything as comprehensive as this AI Act, so yeah, the EU might have a big impact.
All right, so we've got the EU laying down the law. But let's switch gears to OpenAI and DeepSeek going head-to-head. Remember DeepSeek? That Chinese startup with those crazy, efficient AI models.
Oh yeah, they're making a name for themselves. And OpenAI's noticed. They just launched O3 Mini, specifically for things like problem solving and coding, different types of code, I mean. It's not as creative as their GPT model. It's more of a brainiac, really.
So they're each focusing on different parts of the AI landscape.
Exactly. OpenAI is saying O3 Mini is faster, more efficient than what they had before, and cheaper to run than DeepSeek's R1 model. Classic price war. Could be great news for us, though, right? More affordable AI tools coming our way.
Speaking of DeepSeek, former Google CEO Eric Schmidt made a big prediction. Thinks they'll become the biggest name in AI. That's a lot of confidence coming from him.
He's impressed with their R1 model. Apparently, it's as good as ChatGPT, but way cheaper to run. And he thinks their whole open source approach is going to give them a big advantage.
Open source. What's that mean here?
It means DeepSeek is letting anyone use, change, and share their technology, which can mean super fast innovation because you've got developers all over the world contributing. But there's a downside, too. Well, open source stuff can be easier to hack if problems aren't found and fixed quickly. Plus, someone could use their tech for bad stuff, right? It's a double-edged sword for sure.
Gotcha. Okay, let's go from serious AI stuff to something a little lighter, the Super Bowl. Google had a bunch of ads showing small businesses using their Gemini AI. It was all about AI helping everyday life. Nice, positive stuff.
Until one ad got a little, cheesy. Not in a good way.
That cheese shop one, right?
Yep. It had this cute Wisconsin cheese shop, used Gemini to talk about Gouda, the history and how popular it is. But it got some facts wrong about Gouda sales trends. Whoops.
So even Google messes up sometimes with all their AI experts and everything.
It shows you, I gotta fact check everything, even if it comes from Google,
And that brings us perfectly to our next story. That AI phishing attack on Gmail users. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, they use deepfake technology. Basically, AI that creates fake audio or video, but it's so realistic. These scammers were pretending to be Google support, calling people up and sounding just like the real deal.
So not just spam emails, huh? AI making personalized calls to steal info. Kind of scary.
It shows the dark side, for sure, how AI can be used for bad stuff. And as it gets more powerful, we got to be even more careful online. Google's beefing up their security, but so are the hackers.
Before we move on, got to talk about this one AI for gun detection in schools. It's a big debate right now.
It is. There are good arguments on both sides. People who like the tech say it could make schools safer, maybe even save lives. There have been cases where it's worked, AI finding someone with a gun in a school so they could act fast.
But some people are against it, yeah.
Totally. They worry about false positives, like what if it mistakes something harmless for a gun? Chaos. Plus, there are privacy issues and the potential for bias in the tech itself.
Tough call. Safety versus people's rights and the possibility of things going wrong.
It's a conversation we need to have. Weigh the good and the bad carefully. And if we use it, have a plan to do it responsibly, with oversight and all that.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a situation that needs a lot of thought for sure.
Definitely raises some important questions. Okay, let's move on to something a little less intense. AI assistants. Seems like there are more and more of them all the time.
You're right. We've got ChatGPT, obviously, but now you've got DeepSeek's R1, Google's Gemini, and Anthropic's Claude. They've all got their pluses and minuses.
So it's like picking your AI buddy based on what you need.
Exactly. Like if you need something super efficient and powerful, maybe R1 is your best bet. If you're all about Google, then Gemini's going to fit right in. And if you really care about safety and ethics, Claude might be the one.
It's kind of wild how much this is changing. Just a year ago, ChatGPT was basically the AI assistant. Now there's a whole bunch of them.
Competition's good, right? It usually leads to more innovation. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with next, what new stuff, what they specialize in.
Okay, let's talk about the stock market for a sec. It's been all over the place lately, with AI kind of driving the craziness.
Actually, it's starting to recover now, after all that chaos. Remember when DeepSeek launched their R1 model? Investors kind of freaked out trying to figure out what it meant for different industries.
So things are calming down a bit now.
Yeah, seems like it. Experts are saying a few things are helping. The economy's still doing pretty good, companies are making money, inflation's getting better, so things are more stable. And of course, the Fed cut interest rates, so investors are feeling more confident.
So are we good now? AI's impact on the stock market, is that all settled?
I don't know about that. I mean, those things are all good signs, but AI is going to have a long-term impact. Think about it now. Anyone can get their hands on these powerful, affordable AI platforms. It's a huge change. More automation in all kinds of industries, which could mean some jobs go away. Investors are still trying to wrap their heads around all that.
So more ups and downs in the future, more volatility.
It's definitely possible. The way businesses work, the way people invest, it's all changing because of AI. And when things change that fast, there are always going to be some bumps in the road.
It makes you realize AI isn't just about technology. It's changing the whole economy in ways we're just starting to understand.
Exactly.
Man, we've covered a lot today. Global AI rules, OpenAI and DeepSeek going at it, scams using AI, the crazy stock market. AI is everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really incredible how fast it's spreading into everything.
So kind of take a step back, looking at all this news. What's the big takeaway for people listening? What do they need to know?
A few things I'd highlight. First, the EU in this AI Act, they're really trying to make AI development and use more responsible. Big question is, will other countries follow suit? Second, you've got OpenAI, DeepSeek, these big players. They're pushing each other to innovate like crazy. AI tools are getting more powerful and sometimes cheaper too. And lastly, the stock market's reaction shows you AI is a major economic force now. It's shaking things up.
It's easy to get excited about all the cool stuff, but we saw some of the downsides too, right? Like that Gmail phishing attack with AI.
For sure, AI is a tool. Can be used for good or bad. That's why the ethics part, the safety measures, that's so important.
It really makes you wonder, what's next? What's the next big AI thing going to be? How's it going to change our lives?
Only one thing's certain. This field is moving fast. And we're just at the beginning. Who knows what's coming next?
Well, you've definitely given us a lot to think about. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
Glad to do it.
And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. Until next time, stay curious.